Steven told you cruising cases. And by the way, how about cruise? Is it Lion Tent? You're right, Lion Tent. How about this? He is some liar. He's a professional liar. You know, I say it. I'm doing great with evangelicals, but Lion Ted comes in and he holds the Bible up, and he holds it high, right? He holds it high, and then he lies. He lies. But he puts it down and he lies. So here's the story. He loves TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership. NAFTA had a huge impact, a negative impact on this area and all over the country. But NAFTA, you look at New England, what happened to New England. You look at upstate New York, where I just won. And I won it because they know that I'm bringing back the jobs. I'll be bringing back the jobs. Mexico, China, Japan, Vietnam, India, any country you name, I guarantee you can throw up any name. They're taking advantage of not necessarily our stupid politicians, in some cases stupid, and in some cases they do what they have to do in order to get campaign contributions. I'm not doing that, folks. I'm putting up my own money. I'm not doing that. When you look at what's going on with the super PACs, and you look at what's going on with campaign contributions to these people, I can tell you that a friend of mine came up to me 2 weeks ago, and he said, why would they do a deal like this, Donald? Are they so stupid? I said, no, they're not stupid, they're smart. They did a deal because they got massive campaign contributions for doing a deal that was bad for our country. All of that stuff is going to end, folks. We're going to do great deals now. We're doing great. I don't know, I self-fund, and I don't know if it's worth it. So far I'm in for like $40 or $45 million. I mean, I don't care. Even if you're rich, that's a lot of money, right? It's Jeffrey, $45 million, that's a lot of money. I'll tell you this, I don't know that I get credit for it, I'll be honest. Guys are offering, Jeb Bush raised $168 million, right, for a super PAC. I would have raised 5 times that. And a lot of times I feel foolish. I feel foolish that I'm turning down millions of dollars. I have one member of my club in Florida, very great club, the Mar-a-Lago Club. And he keeps coming up, he's a very rich guy. Donald, I'd like to help your campaign. Would you take $10 million? Now you have to understand, all my life I put money, I've taken money. Yeah, that's what I do, I'm a business guy. I take. And every time I see him, he doesn't even understand it. I say, I really can't do that, I'm sorry, I'm self-funded. He goes, no, that's okay. He doesn't even understand what I'm saying because he can't believe it. Because he's money, and he's a good guy, and a generous guy, rich guy. So then I come by, I see him a month later. Donald, seriously, I'd like to give you $10 million. I say, no, I can't do that, I'm self-funding. And for me, that's very hard to do. So he's done it now 4 times, and I just keep turning him down. And I say to myself, I wonder if people appreciate it, because I don't know. They may. But so when I turn, he's one. I have many people. I have many people like that. And I say, all my life I take. There's nothing wrong. We're business people, right? Who's a business person here? Raise your hand. Right. Now, taking is good. We have employees, we take care of their health care and their education, a lot of good things. But I take, and I keep taking, and I become richer and richer. But now, I'm going to take for you, I'm going to take for the country, because our country needs help. Our country needs our money. We're being stripped of our jobs. We have people that don't know what they're doing, and in some cases, they don't care.
They don't.
So we are going to change things around, and we're going to change them around. Big league. Look at these people over there. I love you, folks. Look at them. And I hope the people that are pouring in are not angry at me. They'll go back, and they'll say, Trump was really good, but we only got to see the last 9 minutes of his speech. But that's okay. We should keep going, right? The hell with them, right? numbers, and those are the stats for this area. Those are the stats for Pennsylvania, a place I love, a place that I'm very close to, as you know. It's where I learned how to play golf. Cobb's Creek. Does anyone know where Cobb's Creek is? It's a public course in Philadelphia. I used to play from the Wharton School. I go to Cobb's Creek, and let me tell you, you met people at Cobb's Creek that were actually very, very sophisticated hustlers. And if you could survive on Cobb's Creek, you could practically survive anywhere. So we love Philadelphia. Let me tell you, folks, we love it. We love it. I learned a lot. I learned a lot in Pennsylvania. All right. So I left Indiana, and they have a company in Indiana called Carrier in Indianapolis. And I thought, and I could use 100 different companies and tell the story, but I think it's a terrible story. They've been there for many years. They had 1,400 employees, great people. In fact, a number of the employees were at the speech the other day. And I said, what do you think? And we talked to them, and I talked to them afterwards. They're like great people. They were there, one was there for 18 years, one was there for almost 30. And you probably saw it on television where some semi-mid-level guy was rough, and he said, we're closing, we're moving to Mexico. That Carrier, and I buy a lot of air conditioners from Carrier. I'm not buying them anymore, folks, just so you understand. So, I've been watching politicians now for 5 years talking about keeping the companies in our country, and they've done nothing. They haven't done a damn thing. And they can talk about free trade, and I'm a free trader, but you can only have free trade if you have smart leaders and smart negotiators, and we don't. We have leaders that are dumb as rocks. They don't know what the hell is happening to our country. And when you ride by these buildings in Harrisburg, when you ride by the buildings in Albany, and in Rochester, and in Syracuse, New York, this is why I got the big vote, because they understand that I get it, and they don't get it. They don't, our politicians don't get it. So here's the story, folks. Here's what we do. If we have crooked Hillary, I mean, is there anybody more crooked than this woman? You know, Bernie Sanders, who, in all fairness, and I have to tell you, in all fairness, he said she has bad judgment, all right? She does. He's been tough on her. In fact, I'd like him to keep going, because the longer he goes, the more I'm going to like it. And what he's saying about her, he said a couple of little things. He said she suffers from bad judgment. True. And she said, now, I don't know, I think she's qualified, I guess, but that doesn't mean she's good. I mean, I actually he said she's not qualified to be president. Now, what he meant is because her judgment is so bad, so Bernie Sanders, not me, said she's not qualified. So now I'm going to say she's not qualified, okay? She has really, you look at her judgment. I've been against the war in Iraq. The war in Iraq has been devastating. We've spent $2 trillion. We probably have spent in the Middle East $4 trillion. And we have roads with potholes in the middle of the highways. We have airports that are obsolete. We have the worst transportation system and train system. In China, they have trains that go 250 miles an hour. Over here, if the train goes more than 60, it's like collision territory. And we see it all the time. We've got to start rebuilding this country. We've got to rebuild our country. Now, we shouldn't have been in Iraq. It was a horrible decision. The way Obama got us out of Iraq was a disaster. He said a specific date. And when I heard him say that, I said, yes, no, he can't mean that. I said, it's camouflage. He doesn't really mean that. But he did mean it. That was the date. The enemy sat back. They said, they can't believe it. They said, why should we get killed? Believe me, they don't want to be killed. They went back, we left, and boom. We should have been out. We should have never, ever got in. We totally destabilized the Middle East, and I've been saying that for years, but we went in. Mistake. The way we got out was a mistake, because we got out, we didn't leave the troops. We should have left some troops, and now what's happened? ISIS. We also, by the way, put terrible people in charge of Iraq. And that's really a primary reason, Jeffrey, why ISIS was formed, because they couldn't get together, because they were not inclusive. And so ISIS formed. Now we have another problem. And then you have all of the mistakes that Hillary made as Secretary of State. A total disaster. Not even talking about Benghazi, I mean just big, horrible mistakes. So we have a mess. So what we have to do... Oh, look at those police. Do we love our police, by the way? You know what I'm saying? By the way, what Trump rallies fun, he's fun. You know that if, like, Lion Ted Cruz came to Harrisburg, if he had 250 people in a conference room, I'd be surprised if he could get that many people. I would actually be surprised. And here we have 10,000 people. I would be so surprised if he could even get that. Okay, you ready? And honestly, Cruz and Kasich have no path to victory. It's over. It's over. Cruz said Kasich should get out because he has no path. I mean, not even close. He's won 1 out of 38. Well, Cruz has only won, what, 10 or 11? I've won 22 or 23. I think they both should get out. What are they doing? What are they doing? So we shouldn't have been in. We were in. We have to finish the job. We have to finish. We should never, ever have been. You know, so